Welcome to Limitless Growth. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most influential self-help books of all time, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This timeless book teaches us the transformative power of our thoughts and how they shape every aspect of our lives. In this video, we'll explore the profound lessons this book offers, helping you gain control over your thoughts and unlock your true potential. So, let's begin. The core message of As a Man Thinketh is simple, yet incredibly powerful. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This means that the thoughts we hold in our minds are not just fleeting ideas, they shape who we are, what we do, and the circumstances we experience. If we consistently think positive, empowering thoughts, we'll see positive results in our lives. But if our minds are filled with negativity, doubt, and fear, we'll inevitably face negative circumstances. James Allen emphasizes that thoughts are the foundation of our character. Just as a gardener cultivates and tends to a garden, we must actively tend to our thoughts. A garden that is not cared for will grow weeds. Similarly, our minds will become cluttered with harmful, destructive thoughts if we don't take care to nourish them with positivity. In other words, our thoughts are the seeds that shape our future. Allen argues that our character is the sum of our habitual thoughts. What we think about most often is what defines us. If we constantly worry about failure, for example, we'll find ourselves avoiding challenges and opportunities that might lead to success. If we focus on the fear of rejection, we'll avoid putting ourselves out there in the world, limiting our growth. On the other hand, if we focus on courage, determination, and persistence, we'll develop a strong, resilient character that allows us to overcome obstacles and pursue our goals with confidence. The idea of character is central to this book. Allen writes, the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to their inner state. In other words, our thoughts and emotions are mirrored in the world around us. This idea can be empowering because it puts us in control of our reality. If we want to change our lives, we must first change the way we think. Changing our inner state, our mental attitude, will inevitably lead to changes in our outer circumstances. But how do we go about changing our thoughts? According to Allen, the first step is self-awareness. Self-reflection is crucial in identifying the thoughts that hold us back. We must become aware of the habitual thoughts we have, the ones that shape our behavior and reactions. Once we recognize the patterns of negative thinking, we can begin to replace them with positive, empowering beliefs. Allen makes it clear that personal growth begins with taking responsibility for our thoughts. We must stop blaming external circumstances for our failures and take full ownership of our mindset. By consciously choosing our thoughts, we can develop the mindset necessary to achieve our goals and live fulfilling lives. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life is happening to us, but Allen reminds us that we have the power to shape our experiences through our thoughts. This power of choice is liberating. If we are responsible for our thoughts, we are in control of our future. Our mental environment is ours to create. We can choose to let fear and doubt rule our minds, or we can choose to cultivate thoughts of optimism, possibility, and success. It's not about being unrealistic or blind to challenges, but about focusing on the opportunities that exist within those challenges. A positive mindset allows us to approach obstacles with courage, resourcefulness, and creativity. The next key idea that Allen emphasizes is the importance of mental purity. Just as we would be careful about the food we eat, we must also be discerning about the thoughts we allow to enter our minds. Negative thoughts, such as anger, jealousy, or resentment, can poison the mind, just as toxic foods can harm the body. These negative emotions not only affect our mental well-being but also hinder our ability to take action and move forward in life. Conversely, cultivating thoughts of love, kindness, and compassion leads to harmony and peace within the mind. One of the key aspects of mental purity is practicing discipline. It's not enough to simply think positively once in a while. True transformation happens when we make disciplined thinking a habit. By consciously choosing thoughts that align with our values and goals, we develop the mental discipline necessary for success. The quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives. Allen also introduces the idea of cause and effect. Just as every action has a reaction, every thought we have has an effect on our life. If we constantly think of ourselves as unsuccessful or incapable, those thoughts will manifest in our reality. If we want to create a different reality, we must first change the thoughts that are creating it. This is a powerful concept because it places the responsibility for our lives directly in our hands. This is where the power of choice comes into play. No one can control the external circumstances of life completely, but we can control our response to those circumstances. By choosing to respond with positivity, determination, and faith in ourselves, we can transform even the most challenging situations into opportunities for growth. One of the most profound insights that James Allen presents in As a Man Thinketh is the relationship between our thoughts and our circumstances. Allen argues that circumstances are not the cause of a person's life, they are the result of a person's thinking. This is a powerful perspective because it shifts the responsibility for our lives from the external world to our internal world. Instead of blaming our circumstances for where we are in life, Allen encourages us to look inward and take responsibility for the thoughts that have created those circumstances. Our outer world is a reflection of our inner thoughts. This idea is central to Allen's philosophy. He asserts that everything we experience in life, whether good or bad, is a direct result of the thoughts we've entertained. If we are constantly thinking about failure, worry, or fear, we will experience situations that reinforce those thoughts. However, when we think about success, possibility, and abundance, our lives will mirror those thoughts as well. This concept of thought creating circumstances can be liberating because it means we are not at the mercy of external forces. Instead, we have the power to shape our experiences through the way we think. Allen emphasizes that changing our thoughts can change our circumstances. It's not just about wishing for better situations, it's about changing our mental patterns and attitudes to attract better circumstances. Allen also makes an important distinction between wishful thinking and purposeful thinking. Wishful thinking is hoping for something without any real effort or intention behind it. Many people fall into the trap of wishing for a better life, but they never take the necessary steps to make it happen. Purposeful thinking, on the other hand, involves having a clear vision and actively working towards that vision with focused thought and intentional action. Allen stresses that right thinking is not passive or detached, it is active, purposeful, and directed toward specific goals. This is where the concept of mental discipline comes into play again. To shape our circumstances, we must develop the ability to control our thoughts and direct them toward the outcomes we desire. This means eliminating negative thought patterns that no longer serve us, and replacing them with thoughts that align with our goals. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts for a few minutes each day, we must train ourselves to consistently think in a way that supports our dreams. Another key insight Allen shares is that circumstances serve as tests of character. Instead of blaming the world for our challenges, we must learn to look at our circumstances as opportunities for growth. When we face adversity, it is often a reflection of the thoughts and beliefs we've been holding on to. If we constantly think about how difficult life is, we will continue to face obstacles. But when we see challenges as opportunities to strengthen our character and learn new lessons, we shift our perspective and become empowered. Allen's philosophy encourages us to develop a mindset of resilience. Life will never be without its challenges, but by adopting a resilient mindset, we can face these challenges with grace and determination. Resilience is built through the consistency of positive thought, and the more we practice this, the easier it becomes to overcome obstacles. As Allen writes, a person is literally what they think, their character being the complete sum of all their thoughts. One of the most valuable aspects of this philosophy is the emphasis on personal responsibility. Too often, people blame external circumstances for their failures. They blame the economy, their upbringing, or their environment for the way their lives have turned out. But Allen challenges us to take full responsibility for our lives. This means acknowledging that our thoughts and actions have led us to where we are today. If we want to change our lives, we must change our thinking. Circumstances don't create our lives, our thoughts do. This idea is incredibly empowering because it means that we are not victims of circumstance. We are the creators of our reality. We have the power to change our lives by changing our mindset. If we consistently think in a way that is aligned with our values and goals, we will create the life we desire. The world will start to reflect our inner thoughts and beliefs. Allen also talks about the importance of thinking with purpose and focus. If we want to achieve something significant in life, we must think with intention. We can't afford to let our minds wander aimlessly, thinking random thoughts that don't serve us. We must direct our thoughts toward our goals and consistently work toward achieving them. This kind of focused thinking leads to the manifestation of our desires. To help us understand this concept more clearly, Allen offers a metaphor. He compares the mind to a garden. If we allow the garden to grow wild, it will be full of weeds. But if we tend to it and carefully plant the seeds of good thoughts, we will see the fruits of our labor. Similarly, if we take control of our thoughts and cultivate a mindset that supports our goals, we will begin to see our circumstances change for the better. Allen reminds us that change is a gradual process. Just as it takes time for a garden to flourish, it takes time for our thoughts to transform our lives. We must be patient with ourselves and trust the process. Small, consistent changes in our thinking will lead to significant improvements in our circumstances over time. In the previous section, we explored how our thoughts shape our external circumstances. Now, let's take a closer look at the effect of our thoughts on our physical well-being. Allen discusses the profound connection between mind and body, emphasizing that the mind plays a crucial role in the health of the body. Our thoughts, whether positive or negative, influence our physical state more than we might realize. Allen begins by stating that the body is a reflection of the mind, and our thoughts impact how we feel physically. If we entertain negative thoughts such as anger, hatred, or fear, our bodies will experience corresponding effects, such as stress, tension, and disease. Conversely, when we cultivate thoughts of peace, love, and calm, our bodies thrive and heal. One of the most powerful quotes from Allen in this section is, "The body is the servant of the mind." This statement underlines the idea that our mental state directly controls the condition of our physical body. If we are mentally at peace, we can experience good health. However, if we are mentally troubled or anxious, our body will respond with physical ailments. This connection is not just theoretical but is backed by both ancient wisdom and modern science, which acknowledges the powerful influence of the mind on the body. Positive thinking and a calm mind contribute to physical vitality. When we focus on thoughts of gratitude, optimism, and health, we create a positive environment within the body. Allen believes that mindfulness, consciously controlling our thoughts, is the key to maintaining health. By consciously choosing to think healthy, positive thoughts, we can prevent illness and promote vitality. On the other hand, negative emotions such as fear, stress, and worry create toxic environments in the body. These emotions lead to a decline in health, weakening the immune system and making the body more susceptible to illness. Allen explains that mental and emotional disturbances lead to physical disturbances. If we constantly worry about the future, dwell on past regrets, or harbor resentment, our bodies react by creating physical symptoms. Stress, for example, is known to contribute to a host of health problems, from digestive issues to heart disease. Allen's work encourages us to adopt a mindset of health and wellness. If we change our mental patterns and choose to think about health, vitality, and wellness, we are actively supporting our bodies in becoming healthy. This is why it is so important to monitor our thoughts. If we want to feel better, we must first think better. The mind is the gateway to the body's health. This does not mean that positive thinking alone will cure all ailments. However, the quality of our thoughts can make a profound difference in how we handle illness and stress. Positive thoughts help us cope better with challenges, allowing our bodies to heal more effectively. For instance, studies have shown that people who maintain an optimistic outlook on life tend to recover from surgery or illness more quickly than those who are more pessimistic. The key is to view health as a mental and emotional state that contributes directly to our physical well-being. The power of visualization also plays a significant role in achieving and maintaining health. Allen suggests that we should visualize ourselves as healthy and vibrant, and believe that health is our natural state. Visualization can help reprogram our subconscious mind, which is responsible for much of our behavior and physical health. By regularly visualizing ourselves in perfect health, we begin to send signals to our body that it is well and whole. Furthermore, mental calmness is essential for health. Allen describes how a calm mind promotes a relaxed body, and relaxation is critical for good health. Constant mental tension can manifest physically, causing problems such as muscle pain, headaches, and fatigue. Practicing mindfulness and meditation, which help us achieve mental peace, can create a profound impact on our physical health. The body follows the state of the mind, so cultivating a peaceful mental environment allows the body to function at its highest potential. Allen also points out the importance of developing emotional intelligence. The way we handle our emotions impacts our health. By learning to control our emotional responses, rather than being at the mercy of them, we can protect our bodies from the harm caused by unchecked emotions. Emotional balance is key to maintaining a healthy body, and this requires developing self-awareness and emotional regulation skills. By doing so, we prevent ourselves from getting caught in cycles of stress, anger, or sadness that can contribute to physical ailments. Another aspect that Allen discusses is the role of mental habits in shaping our health. Much like our thoughts shape our circumstances, they also shape our physical state. Allen emphasizes that by developing positive mental habits, we can foster a state of health and well-being. For instance, if we consistently think thoughts of strength and vitality, our body begins to reflect that strength. This is similar to how training a muscle over time results in increased strength. Over time, our mental habits shape the health of our body, reinforcing the importance of mental discipline in maintaining overall health. Allen further advises that we should be conscious of our thoughts about aging. If we think of aging as a process of decline, our body will respond in kind. However, if we think of aging as a process of growing wiser, stronger, and more capable, we can help our bodies age gracefully and with vitality. In fact, many people who live long, healthy lives do so not because of their genes or circumstances, but because of their mindset toward aging. They do not view aging as something to fear, but as an opportunity to continue growing and learning. Finally, Allen reminds us that the power of thought can be used to prevent illness. If we consistently think in ways that support our health, we build a mental foundation that resists disease. In this way, positive thinking is not only about healing, but also about preventing illness before it takes root. Allen presents a clear and compelling argument: thoughts are the driving force behind our actions, and our actions determine the results we achieve. He emphasizes that the key to success lies in cultivating the right mindset, a mindset that is focused, purposeful, and determined. Success does not come by chance or luck, but by aligning our thoughts with our goals and having the discipline to act consistently toward those goals. One of the central themes in Allen's work is that thought is the first step in the process of achievement. He asserts that everything that exists in the world was first created in the mind. From the creation of a business to the building of a great empire, everything starts with a thought. However, thoughts alone are not enough. To manifest success, these thoughts must be accompanied by action. But what kind of action? Allen stresses the importance of purposeful and intentional action. It's not enough to simply act, we must act with a clear purpose in mind. Success is the result of directed thought and consistent, purposeful effort. The more focused we are on our goals and the more determined we are to achieve them, the more likely we are to succeed. In addition to purposeful action, Allen highlights the importance of mental discipline. He argues that our minds must be trained to focus on our goals, eliminating distractions and staying steadfast in the pursuit of our dreams. Discipline of thought is what separates those who achieve from those who do not. By training our minds to stay focused, we create a mental environment where success is inevitable. Success also requires vision. Allen explains that the ability to see success in the mind's eye is a critical component of achievement. He advocates for mental visualization as a tool for manifesting success. By visualizing our goals as already achieved, we create a mental image that aligns with the actions required to bring those goals to fruition. Visualization reinforces our commitment and helps us remain focused on our objectives. Another key idea that Allen introduces is the concept of mental attitude. A positive mental attitude, according to Allen, is an essential ingredient in achieving success. If we approach life with a negative mindset, we attract negative circumstances. But if we adopt a positive attitude, we attract opportunities, people, and situations that align with our goals. Allen suggests that a positive attitude helps us navigate obstacles and remain resilient in the face of adversity. Success requires an optimistic and constructive mindset that believes in the possibility of achievement, regardless of challenges. Furthermore, Allen discusses the importance of self-belief. He asserts that those who succeed are those who have an unwavering belief in their ability to succeed. Self-doubt and fear are the enemies of achievement, and they must be eradicated. To succeed, we must have the confidence to act on our thoughts and ideas, even when faced with uncertainty or fear. Belief in oneself is the fuel that propels action forward. Allen encourages us to build our self-belief through positive affirmations, visualization, and the cultivation of mental strength. One of the most empowering ideas that Allen presents is the idea of taking full responsibility for our success. He stresses that we are the creators of our own destiny, and we have the power to shape our future through our thoughts and actions. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for our failures, we must take ownership of our lives. Success is not something that happens to us, it is something we create with our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. In addition to personal responsibility, Allen also discusses the role of character in achieving success. He argues that true success is not just about material wealth or external accomplishments, but about the development of inner character. Character is the foundation of lasting success. A person of good character, someone who is honest, disciplined, and virtuous, is more likely to achieve sustainable success than someone who achieves success at the cost of their integrity. Allen also highlights the importance of perseverance in the pursuit of success. He acknowledges that success is rarely immediate and that setbacks and failures are inevitable along the way. However, the key to success lies in persevering in the face of adversity. It is the ability to keep going, even when things get tough, that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Allen encourages us to embrace failure as a learning opportunity rather than a reason to quit. Finally, Allen concludes by reinforcing the idea that thought is the ultimate force in shaping our lives. Our thoughts create our reality, and our reality is a reflection of our inner mental state. If we want to change our circumstances, we must first change our thinking. The mind is the source of all creation, both our successes and our failures are born from the thoughts we hold. The path to success begins in the mind. It is through disciplined thought, purposeful action, self-belief, and perseverance that we can achieve our dreams. Allen's teachings remind us that we have the power to shape our lives and create the success we desire. By aligning our thoughts with our goals and cultivating a mindset of discipline and resilience, we can unlock the full potential of our lives. Conclusion. In conclusion, As a Man Thinketh offers timeless wisdom on the profound connection between thought and success. By changing our thoughts, we change our lives. Allen's philosophy encourages us to take full responsibility for our thoughts and actions, to develop a positive mental attitude, and to act with purpose and perseverance. With these principles, we can manifest the success we desire and live a life of fulfillment and achievement. If you found these ideas valuable, make sure to subscribe to Limitless Growth for more inspiring content on personal development, success, and achieving your fullest potential. Let us know in the comments how you plan to implement these principles in your life, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.